Yeah, hello and good morning to all our attendees in Europe, and good day and good afternoon to all attendees from Asia and Pacific. I welcome you to today's webinar. First of all, sorry for my voice. A little cold got me the last 2 days, so I hope you do not mind. But I hope you can hear me all well. In today's session, we're going to introduce you our brand new software member of the PointSense family, the PointSense application PointSense for Revit. PointSense for Revit is available since the 4th of May this year. And what is PointSense for Revit? It's a software that accelerates and simplifies the evaluation of your laser scanning data directly inside Autodesk Revit. How this is achieved, we will show you in the upcoming 45 to 60 minutes. And just start here. If you haven't had the chance to dial in with your headset, please use the following dial-in numbers for your specific country via phone. As always in the session, you have the possibility to ask questions to us. Please use for this the chat window you should see on your upper right, on your upper right side of your screen. You can direct questions to us at any time, and we will collect them and answer them at the end of this webinar. We will try to answer them all in this session. If there's not enough time, then we will, of course, answer them after the session individually. Maybe just coming back to the last slide. What's also important, today's webinar is recorded, and you will receive the recording link in a follow-up email after the webinar. For all of those, for all of you who do not know us yet, we will have a short introduction of our history first. 2 months ago, we have been acquired by the enterprise FARO Technologies Inc. So our former name has been Qubit, and now we are named FARO 3D Software GmbH or Corporation. What is FARO? FARO is a world leader in computer-aided measurement, machines, 3D documentation, and software. And what you can see on this slide is a rough summary about the company's history of FARO. First of all, FARO had been specialized in measuring systems in the medical and surgical industry. And at the end of the 80s, FARO started with a more industrial approach, starting to concentrate on measuring solutions for more industrial markets. At the beginning, by 1998, there followed a series of company acquisitions that it included, for instance, IQ Evolution in 2005, which actually brought in the laser scanning know-how inside FARO, and this acquisition series ended up until now with our acquisition this year. What does our company look like? We are located in Dresden, and we exist now since 16 years. The company once has been founded by the friends Matthias Koch and Dr. Oliver Brinkmann, and they kind of established this great enterprise company. At our location, at the moment, they are employed 29 employees, and the software that we offer are mainly AutoCAD and Revit-based plugins, as well as standalone software solutions for different technology fields. And our former slogan we already used was the slogan "From real world to CAD, which is still applicable. Our products stand for accuracy and efficiency. So we want you to use our solutions to get the easiest, fastest, and most accurate results you need when dealing with data. The microphone is now handed over to my colleague Jörg Braunes. He's the product manager of our new solution, PointSense for Revit. Jörg has a profound knowledge in the work with Autodesk Revit. He worked for a long time at the university in Weimar, at the architectural faculty, and he first has driven our former product, which was called Virtuosurf with Revit Link, successfully to the market, and now he enhanced the solution with even more great features to the final product PointSense for Revit, which he gonna introduce to you now. So I wish you an interesting session, and let's jump to Jörg for now.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to this webinar, and thank you, Katrin, for the nice introduction. Hopefully you can see my screen now. Before we come to the PointSense for Revit product and the new features there, I would like to give you an overview to the FARO reality capture workflow and the position of FARO 3D software inside this solution. You can see here on the left side the reality capture devices, the FARO Focus 3D, and of course the new handheld scanner FARO Freestyle. These both devices are technologies to capture the reality of buildings or facilities or interiors. And with this point cloud, then you go to the processing software, FARO Scene, where you can prepare, filter, clean up, and process your point clouds, and to bring it in, for example, to the collaboration with FARO Scene WebShare. Here you can share your data with all your customers or with all your partners, and process. And from FARO Scene, of course, then you can give the data into your CAD systems or into to extract the information. And here we provide several solutions. First of all, our PointSense solutions for Autodesk products. May you know our products PointSense for AutoCAD with products PointSense Plant, Building, and Heritage for data extraction for facilities and the plant industry, for 2D floor plan extraction with PointSense Building, and for monument preservation with PointSense Heritage. And a new product, then PointSense for Revit, that I would like to show you in a few seconds. Next to the PointSense product that are all plugins for Autodesk products, we also offer Virtuosurf. This is a standalone product which comes with several links into other CAD systems like AutoCAD or BricsCAD, as well as with a generic window link to connect scan data to any other Windows program. And Virtuosurf with a special link is always a part of the PointSense products. So if you have a PointSense for AutoCAD, you will get a Virtuosurf with AutoCAD link, as well as if you have a PointSense for Revit, you will get a Virtuosurf with Revit link. I want to show you this feature in a few minutes. Let's have a look first what we can do with point clouds inside Revit with standard Revit tools. So you already know that you can insert RCP or RCS point clouds. That means recap point clouds into Revit. Recap is an Autodesk product. It's a free laser scan viewer that can imports several raw scan formats from different laser scanner manufacturers, and in this recap product you create an RCP or RCS file. This is an Autodesk point cloud format that you can use inside different Autodesk products like AutoCAD, Revit, 3D Max or Inventor. Revit also has the capability to create such recap files directly, so it's not necessary to use the recap software, but recommend to use the recap because you have some possibilities for cleaning and filtering the point clouds before you use this in Revit. If you insert a point cloud into Revit, there are a few dependent visualization. That means in Revit you work with several views, 3D views or plan views, elevation views, etc. And in each of these views you can set up the visualization for your point cloud in various color options, RGB for colored point clouds, single color or the intensity view, as well as a normal or a height view of this point cloud. You can also crop the point cloud with the normal view options of your Revit view. In the 3D view, this is the section box where you can change the visualization of your point cloud as well as your Revit model. And in each plan view or in section views, you can set up your view ranges to crop the point cloud. Revit also provides simple point cloud snapping, so you can snap to single point cloud points as well as you have a planar snapping. That means Revit searches for a plane inside the point cloud that is perpendicular to the active work plane and snaps to that plane. So the point cloud snapping in Revit is only usable on an active work plane and not in 3D space. So that brings me to the things that Revit not can do with point cloud at the moment. First of all, you have no real 3D point snapping. That means you cannot directly snap to a point cloud point in 3D space. You can only snap to that point if this point is on the active work plane. Second point is there's no scan view or panoramic view available. May you know these kind of views from other laser scan software like FARO or from Recap or Through View from Leica or something like that. So this scan view is often more intuitive and you have an easier navigation than in a big point cloud. So this is a really good view for modeling or to picking coordinates. And we have not such a view in Revit itself. One big disadvantage from Revit is that you cannot use the point cloud data direct in the family editor. So the family editor is a part of the Revit product where you can build new building components, where you create such Revit families. This could be a window or door or a column or any other building component that you want to use in your project, and at the moment there is no possibility to use point clouds in the family editor. And the last point I would like to mention here is that we have no automatic object recognition and object placement inside the point cloud with Revit, but these features would speed up the modeling process. And so all these points were reasons for us to develop a product like PointSense for Revit, and so PointSense for Revit has features for all these points to bring inside Revit to help all of you to speed up your workflow while modeling in Revit from point clouds. So in sum, what is PointSense for Revit? It's a software for modeling, building 3D building models from point cloud data directly inside Revit. So it's a plugin for Revit with that comes with its own ribbon and with its own features inside Revit. And it gives you features for easy, precise, and fast model creation. Let's have a look to the common workflow of modeling from point clouds in Revit. First of all, of course, you have to insert point cloud and you have to adjust your project coordinates and, if needed, also the shared coordinate system. Then you start with a vertical slide through the point cloud where you can define your different levels for each building story. In each of these level views, you will start modeling the overall geometry. That means the outside and inside walls and columns and so on. Then you have to adjust families. That means building components. You have to create as-built families from the point cloud in the family editor. So usually if you are working with point cloud data or you are working with old buildings, then you will find building components that are not in your standard libraries. So you have to create your own families from this captured data. And if you have these families, then you have to place these families in your model. And you will use different views, different section or elevation views inside Revit to place these family instances. And what are now the advantages of a product like PointSense for Revit? So you will find features for all these steps. First of all, after inserting the point cloud, you are able to acquire the point cloud coordinates directly from your point cloud to set up your shared coordinate system. We have several tools for modeling. We have wall fitting and wall alignment tools that I would like to show you in a second. And then we have several tools to create construction guides, like a work plane fitting or 3D model lines. With PointSense, you are able to use point cloud data in the family editor. You can insert point cloud regions directly into this family editor. You can create other images to use in the family editor, or you can also use the scan view from Virtuosurf to work directly in the family environment. And last but not least, for placing family instances, PointSense gives you a real 3D point cloud snap that helps you to place your families in your point cloud. Let's have a closer look, closer view to the features. First of all, I would like to show you the wall fitting. Wall fitting means you're working in a floor plan view in Revit with your point cloud. And then you have a tool that creates very quick and very precise standard walls inside the point cloud with automatic creation of new wall types for different wall thicknesses. That means the software searches for the best fitting wall type from your project. And if you don't have a wall type with the right wall thickness, then the software can create a new wall type with a detected thickness in the point cloud. After that, you will get a model of different walls with precise shape and position. That means the best fit of all these wall elements. That can looks like this simple sketch there. So you have the right wall types, you have the right wall thickness, but you won't have the 90-degree angles, or you won't have continuous wall faces on the outside walls. And for a good BIM model, you often have the requirements to get orthogonal wall access, a minimal number of different wall types, as well as continuous wall access and facade faces. So what you want to have is something like that, but you're working in real conditions, real world conditions. So that means you want to have this adjustment of the walls only in a user-defined tolerance. And this is something I would like to show you in the software itself. So I switch to my Revit. You can see here a point cloud of a small office building. If I turn off the point cloud, you can see several walls that I've already modeled here. I will switch to my floor plan, and here you can see the point cloud. It's cut to the or scrubbed with a few ranges of my floor plan view. And if you are working with the PointSense product, the first step is to prepare this floor plan view. This preparing means we create another view to the point cloud data. You can see this prepared view here. You can see you have a much better view to the point cloud. You can see much clearer the contours of each wall, as well as here the door and the furniture. And in this prepared view, I can now fast create new walls with a wall fitting tool. So I go to my PointSense ribbon here, and here you can find all the PointSense features. And I started the wall fitting. Here I have to click only 2 points inside the wall. It's not necessary to use the point cloud snap. And then the software searches for the best fitting wall type. Here you can see this with its 2 lines, 2 red lines, and then the software searches in my list of all available wall types for the best fitting wall. So it finds here an interior wall with a thickness of 12.5 millimeters. This is the closest wall type to my detected thickness of 11.5 centimeters. So I can now use this wall, or I can also choose another wall type and say I would like to insert this with adjustment. Adjustment means that the software creates a new wall type that has the correct thickness that we have detected in the point cloud. So now this wall type has a thickness of 11.5 centimeters. So let's do some more walls. Again, the software searches for the best fitting wall. Now, again, I want to use the standard wall and create a new wall type with adjustment. I do this here on the exterior wall, and you can also see in the preview window, here are also windows inside the wall, so we can also detect the wall if there are some windows inside. And now we find a wall type that fits perfect here with the thickness. So I insert this type, and let's do one more here. If the software don't find the right wall type in the first step, you can always pick this this line here in the preview and start the fitting again, and then create the wall. And let's do 2 others. Insert, and one more here. Okay. So now I have my my wall model with the best fitting walls in the point cloud, and to create a good floor plan view here, I can start a Align Walls tool, select all the walls. This is possible in a floor plan as well as in the 3D view. So if you want to do that with multiple stories, so it's also possible to use the 3D view. If I click on Finish, then the dialog appears with a preview of my model here, and you see different colors. The different colors stands for the deviation. Deviation means the software moves each wall a little bit to fit to a reference system. So let me cancel it to, I would like to show you the angle. So I insert some annotation here to show you the angles, and maybe here. So you can see, of course, we are working with reality capture data, so we have no 90-degree angles here. And if we start again the wall fitting, the wall alignment, and we go to, let us show the reference systems. So we see here, now we have 90-degree angles in the model, and the preview shows us that the system finds exactly one reference system. Reference system means all these walls in a reference system has now angles of 90 degrees. They are orthogonal to each other. You can also change this increment angle to any other angle. For example, if you would like to find 45 degrees or only a 180 degree reference system, you can change this, and you can also change the maximum deviation. Maximum deviation means this is my tolerance value. So I allow the system to move each wall to up to 30 millimeters to fit to a reference system. If I change the tolerance value a little bit, only to 15 millimeters, then you can see now the system finds two reference systems here, the red one and the blue one. And maybe I can also change one more. Now you can see that these walls are inside another reference system, but all the red ones are in this reference system. So here we can get 90-degree angles with a maximum deviation tolerance of 10 millimeters. Okay. And you can see here also on this example, I have two walls with different wall thickness, but the system creates a continuous wall face here in this room. Okay. Let me go back to the presentation to show you some more features. Here you can see the scan view, the photo-like scan view. For that, we use the software VirtuSurf. VirtuSurf is a standalone software that has a link to Revit. So may you know our other our formerly product VirtuSurf with Revit link. Now we have this product fully included in the PointSense for Revit. That means all the features that you know from VirtuSurf with Revit link are now part of the PointSense for Revit product. And with this VirtuSurf, we can display the scan data in this photo-like planar scan view. So you can see here in this image, this is one scan. So you have a colored scan, and behind each pixel you will have the 3D coordinate. So it's more intuitive, and you have better navigation that of the point cloud. And we provide several commands to working in this view to create walls, doors, windows, columns, and beams. And how does it work? You can see it here. You have the VirtuSurf on one hand side and Revit on the other side. And in VirtuSurf, we have this Revit toolbar with the several commands. And if you start a tool in VirtuSurf, then the system sends commands and coordinates to Revit to create the object. And this is shown here in this short video. On the right side in VirtuSurf, we start the window command. We have several options to create a window, and we can choose all the families from the Revit file, we have to we need only 2 points for the window to create the object in Revit, and with the door we can use 4 points in the reveal or on the edges of this opening. If you don't have the right type of the object in your Revit project, then with VirtuSurf you can also create new types from the family with the right dimensions from the point cloud. And here you can see how easy it is to create a column or a beam inside the scan view. You need only a few points, click in the scan view to create the object in Revit. And then this is a standard object for Revit, and so you can use it with all the Revit commands to finish here the model. With PointSense for Revit, you can not only use these commands with the VirtuSurf scan view, now it's also possible to use all these VirtuSurf commands together with the point cloud inside Revit. For that, we developed a real 3D point snapping inside Revit. This is shown also here in this video. So we start beam command. This is the same command you can start inside VirtuSurf, but instead of clicking the points in the VirtuSurf scan view, you can now pick the points directly in the point cloud inside Revit. And so this is fully independent from any workplane in Revit. So it's not necessary to define any workplane. You start the command and pick the points in the point cloud, and the software searches for the best workplane to create all these elements in 3D. Okay. For a better integration of this scan view process in your workflow, it is also possible to bring the scanner positions from VirtuSurf into your Revit project. You can see it here. These are the scanner positions, and this video shows how you can now work with these scanner positions. You can select this, and with the property window, you can easily open the VirtuSurf scan view out of your Revit project and then directly start the modeling process in the scan view. So each of these scan view labels in your project has a link to its scan view in VirtuSurf, and you can open this link from your property window in Revit to work with the scan views. Okay. Let's go to another kind of features in PointSense. This is the creation of as-built building components in the family editor. So you have 3 different options doing this with PointSense for Revit. First of all, you can insert small point cloud regions directly into the family editor. These point cloud regions are imported via a PTS file format. PTS is a ASCII file format for point clouds. It's a common file format, so you can create this with your preferred processing software, FARO, or you can do this with Recap. You can also create this PTS files with VirtuSurf, and with PointSense you can also create this PTS files directly from your point cloud in your Revit project. I will show this in a minute. And in the point cloud, in the family editor, you can also use scaled over images that are calculated directly in Revit from your point cloud. And you can also use the VirtuSurf scan view to create construction lines or construction points directly in the family editor. So let's have a short demo of that. So I will switch back to my Revit. Let me close this project first. Okay, so first of all, you can see here, this is a point cloud in my project environment in Revit. With a 3D section box, I can choose a point cloud region that I want to use in the family editor. So now I have only this window in my 3D section box. And with PointSense, I can now export this region. These are 1.2 million points here. Window from, and I save this as a PDS file. And this PDS file I can now insert in the family editor. But before I will do this, I would like to show you the other option. I can also create an author image of this point cloud. I will do this from this section through the window. So I go to PointSense, author image, and start the X-ray author image mode. So that will take some seconds. So I can, while we calculate this author image, I can explain a little bit more this feature. So author image means this is an orthographic projection of the point cloud into an image. So you can use this feature in any planar view, the section view, and the elevation view, as well as in the standard 3D view. You have the option to create a colored author image from the RGB color of the point cloud. And what I'm doing now here is to create an X-ray author image. X-ray means you can have a view through the point cloud, but on all the orthogonal section lines, you will get more contrast to have a good view to each profile here of the window. You can change the intensity to have a better contrast here. And if the image is finished, then you have the option to save this as a file, or if you are working in a planar view or like a section or a plan view, then it's also possible to insert this image directly into your project. At the moment we are working in the 3D view, so Revit doesn't allow to use images in the 3D view, so that's why it is not possible to insert this image directly in this view. Okay, so we are nearly finished with this image. Okay, let's check in the preview. Looks pretty good. So I will save this file. Window, site. And now we can switch to our family editor. I already prepared a little bit this family here. So you can see here I already create this opening into the wall in the family editor. And if I go to the floor plan view, you can see here I also insert already an author image from the top of the window, and I adjust my opening to this author image, and you can see here all the profiles of the frames and of the window. And now I will go to the left view and insert the author image I already prepared. Window, site, and you can see here with this tool we insert this author image with the right scale, and now it is possible to move this image to the right position of your family, and then you can start modeling all the other elements of this window, for example. And then let's go back to the 3D view and want to insert also the point cloud region. I choose my PDS file, and I will set up a subsampling of 5 so that only that I have it a little bit faster now. And for positioning, I use the standard region option to bring the point cloud directly in the middle of my family coordinate system. If you are working with Virtusurf, it's also possible to set up the coordinates together with Virtusurf. Then the point cloud will fit exactly to the to this opening. Now the point cloud is not at the right position because you have here the real-world coordinates of each point, but it's pretty easy to select this point cloud and to bring this point cloud in the right position. All right, so I have to rotate a little bit this point cloud and also to move it to the right position. Now you have the point cloud inside the family editor, you have the author image inside the family editor, and you can start modeling all the other elements. And if this is finished, then maybe it can look like this, a complete window from scan data that you can now use in your Revit project. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. Another useful tool is the tuple surface creation. So in Revit, you have several tools to create your ground surface, your tuple surface. You can place points manually, and then you have to set up for each point the height. Or you can insert lists of points with an ASCII file, but then you have to create such an ASCII file from your point cloud data. And now with PointSense, you have also the possibility to create this tuple surface from construction points. This is shown in this video. So you start creating several construction points. For that, PointSense will use again the 3D snap. So you click the points on the point cloud and you will get the correct 3D coordinate. So if we hide the point cloud, you can see here all the construction points. And now with the tuple surface tool, you can select these points and create a 3D tuple surface from the point cloud. And so this is a standard Revit tuple surface. You can modify this object with your standard Revit tools. Another point is that we have several tools to create construction guides to help you to model different elements in Revit. First of all, we can create 3D model lines directly on the point cloud. And with this model lines, you can use this to create sketch-based building elements or in-place or mass objects. And we also have work plane fitting in Revit. So you can select several points on the point cloud to get your work plane. And then we have tools to create the intersection lines or intersection points between these work planes and also between planes in your model. And this is also something I want to show you in Revit. I will close these files. Okay, so in this example, you can see here the point cloud of a roof. If I hide this point cloud, you can see here I already modeled some lines of the roof to get the shape of the roof. And how we can do that, I want to show you now. So I start a fit plane tool from PointSense. This tool, I have to pick several points on the point cloud. So again, here we will use the 3D point snap. So if I finish with escape, I get the dialog with all these points. I can check the accuracy of this plane here with the standard deviation, the maximum deviation. And if I have a point that lies not perfectly on the plane, I can also turn it off to have a better result here. You can see here in the 3D view that my work plane is already fit to this point cloud, and I can also create some model lines on this work plane. I will do that here, and if I turn off the point cloud, you can see here I have these model lines exactly on the plane on the point cloud. And I want to create a second one. Now I will use the one-click plane tool. So this means I only need to click one point here on the point cloud, and the software searches for a plane here. And you have again the standard deviation of the plane that we find. And as a result, I want to create a named reference plane at the moment. So let's say roof face, and if I orbit the view, you can see again that my active work plane lies exactly on the point cloud. Okay, and now I can use these planes to get the intersection line of the roof here. For that, I use my 3 planes intersection tool. My first plane should be my named reference plane, roof face here. Okay. The second plane, I want to pick the model lines from the plane fitting here. And for the last plane, I want to pick a face, so I can pick the face of this floor here. And as a result, I get these 3 lines and in the intersection of these 3 planes. So what I can do now with these model lines, as an example, I can create a mass element. So I already prepared this mass here. So I will unhide this. So you can see here I created this mass from all these lines, and as an example to working with construction guides, now can use the roof by face command and pick the faces of this mass to create roofs here. So this is a simple way or simple workflow to create any other shape in your point cloud with a high accuracy, and only to work with this construction guides, in this example to work with these lines to model a mass element and then use this mass element to create a roof, or you can also use the mass to create slope walls or other elements. Okay. The last feature I want to explain is this working with linked documents. May you know that in Revit you are working with 2 different coordinate systems. One is the project coordinate system, that is defined with your project base point. This is here in this picture, this circle. And the second one is your shared coordinate system that is defined with the survey point. So the survey point defines a coordinate in this shared coordinate system. And if you are working with linked documents, that means if you are working with other Revit files that you want to link together, or if you are working with CAD files that you want to insert into your Revit project, or if you want to export your Revit project to a survey coordinate system or to a shared coordinate system, then it is necessary to set up the shared coordinates in your project. And for that, PointSense has the feature to acquire directly this or to retrieve directly these coordinates from a point cloud. That means you insert your point cloud with center to center option. You can move and rotate the point cloud to bring it to the position you need for modeling, and then you can simply use this tool to set up your shared coordinates. It's similar to the standard Revit tool where you can acquire coordinates from CAD files. And if you want to start with VirtuSurf, then you can also create your shared coordinate system with the project coordinates command from VirtuSurf. All right, so this was all I can show you at the moment with PointSense for Revit. Thank you for your attention. Hopefully you find it useful for your work and for your workflow. And now we have a few minutes left to answer to some of your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jörg, for this very detailed introduction into our new PointSense for Revit application. I will have a look to our chat window right now to search if we already have received some questions. So if you haven't directed questions to us yet, just feel free to do this right now. We have about 5 minutes left, so yeah, we are still available for your questions. There's coming in a first question, Jörg, and this is the following. Which versions of PointSense for of Revit PointSense for Revit is compatible with?
Oh, yes. This is a good question. So PointSense for Revit will work with all Revit products like architecture, structure, MEP, and also with the full Revit version from the Building Design Suite. And PointSense will support the versions 2015 and 2016. It will not work with Revit LT, because Autodesk doesn't allow to use plugins in Revit LT.
All right. We have another question just came in here. What are the costs of the software? So if you can say a rough number, if you have it in mind.
Oh, okay. So yes, PointSense for Revit, one license will cost a little bit more than 3,000 euros. And it comes, of course, with a full license of VirtuSurf with a Revit link. So if you have a license of PointSense for Revit, then you will also have a license of VirtuSurf with Revit link to use this workflow I have shown in this webinar, to use also the scan view.
Okay. There's another question which came just in recently about align walls. Does the deviation values be written on the wall instances?
That's pretty good questions. No, at the moment we do not do this, so you can you can always have a look to the deviation, because you can if you start with the wall fitting, then we write down the position of the wall inside a data object in the wall that we use in our software. So it's you cannot see this in Revit itself, but if you start the alignment and you have the deviation within the alignment, you can always jump back to this best fit position. So that means if you want to have a look to the deviation, then you can always go back to this align tool and to see the deviation. But at the moment, we do not write this in a parameter or something like this. But that's a good idea. Maybe I will write this down to our topic list, and maybe this is something we can provide in the future.
All right, Jörg, another question which came in is, is PointSense for Revit available as French version?
Unfortunately not. At the moment we have only an English version, and we will come up with a German version at the end of this year. And if we will have another language version, we cannot say at the moment, maybe in the future.
Okay. Now there are actually coming some questions in. Another question is, can we do texturing to model?
Texturing to model.
Is this clear to you? Maybe.
Yeah, I have an idea what you mean. So we have no direct tool to texture the model, but of course you can use the author image feature to create an author image of your point cloud, and then use this author image to texture your model. This would be possible, but you have to adjust the texture coordinates manually.
Okay.
Hopefully this answers these questions a little bit more.
Another question which just arrived, does the topo surface tool use only the selected points, or does it use the whole point cloud?
Yeah, at the moment it uses only the selected points. So the workflow is you start creating this construction points manually. So you have to pick the points manually on the point cloud. So you can choose the best point in the point cloud where you need a construction point, and then you select all these points to create the topo surface. So at the moment we have no automatic tool for that.
Okay. As the time just went by, I will suggest to having to read out one more question. We have still some more questions in the line, but this we will answer to you directly afterwards. So the last question I would like to read out here is, so is it PointSense plus VirtuSurf plus Revit, which is in the package? Jörg, can you?
Okay. So
I guess
the point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess the question is, if you buy a license of PointSense for Revit, you will get the plugin PointSense for Revit, as well as the VirtuSurf with Revit link. So of course you have to have a Revit license, or you have also to buy a Revit license. But the PointSense itself includes VirtuSurf with Revit link. So it's the plugin for Revit and VirtuSurf, but you have to buy Revit itself.
Okay, I hope it's all clear to you. Otherwise, you just come back to us after the webinar. What you can see here on this last page is here are shown our contact data. So we invite every one of you to have a try with the software. You can do this by requesting a trial version. We offer here 15 days for trial. One of our sales representatives will get in contact with you after you requested a trial, and then we can support you further during your trial to get to know your requirements and to show you the best workflows to apply within your projects. Okay, so for now, I would say thank you to you, Jörg, for this great presentation. Thanks that you were able to have time today. And
no problem.
of course, I want to thank you as our attendees as well for your participation in today's webinar. And we wish you a great morning, lunchtime, or evening in the Asia Pacific region now, and we are looking forward meeting you in one of our upcoming sessions. So for now, have a good day and goodbye.
Goodbye.